Today on 5x5, we're going to be talking about flex time, one of the innovations that you can use to help keep your employees motivated and excited to come to work. Hey, it's Paul Blough, time for another 5x5, and today we're going to be talking about flex time. Flex time is just a different way of scheduling your staff than really what you're probably used to. Most of us grew up working from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 or one of those very specific time schedules, and flex allows there to be some adaptation to that. Control a little bit about when we come in and a little bit about when we leave, giving the employees some empowerment. So why would we want to do that? Well, today's workforce is very, very different from what it was back even just 10, 20 years ago. The new millennialist generation are really, really interested in having more control over their schedules, more control over the time that they work and when they work. But even aside from their interests, this can actually be something that can be quite advantageous to a company. Now, let me give you an example from our world. Now, we run a help desk. It's one of our primary functions, and so we want to be on the phone ready to be able to support our customers whenever they have a problem with their computers. And so we want to make sure that we're there, and if they have a need, that need's going to be answered. That means I've got a pretty rigid schedule that I've got to provide coverage for. So when I talk about flex time, it's not a come in whenever you want to and leave whenever you want to. It's more like we're going to give you a little bit of latitude in both directions. What would you like? And what we came up with, here's our scenario, is I have to provide coverage from 8 to 5. I really want to cover from 7:30 to 5:30 though, because I have people that go to work a little bit earlier, my customers, and they might run into a problem at 7:30 and need to have some help on that. And I sometimes have to stay a little bit later working with somebody till we wrap something up. So how do I get 7:30 to 5:30 without paying overtime, because we don't want to do that, and yet give people flex time? Well, this is what we came up with, is we allow people now Monday through Thursday to work extra time, an extra 1 hour, so that on Friday they can take off at lunchtime. Now, the way that has to work in our case is that we can only do that with half the staff at a time, because we still are providing coverage on Friday afternoons. But Friday afternoons are just slow for us. Have been for a long time and seem to be in the future going to be slow as well. And so we adapted to allow people to be able to take that time on Friday. Now, our staff loves it. They don't mind coming in early, getting started. They work really hard. Energy's up. They're very excited when it's their week that they're going to get an extra half day off on Friday. And since it's every other week, it keeps things kind of motivated and flowing pretty well. Now, I suggest this to you because you may have to do like we did, where we do have a fixed schedule, and somebody in retail, very much like us, is going to have a fixed schedule that they have to provide coverage from. But that doesn't mean that you cannot have some adaptation there and be a little bit creative. In our case, we have a lot of redundant staff. That's intentional on our part. And so what we try to do is we make sure that whoever their peer is on the other schedule. And so we have 2 people in help desk. One person can be off, the other one needs to be on. And that would be the same thing you would work out in your scheduling too. You'd figure out who can you get by with, who do you need to have coverage to make sure that you're taking care of whatever your needs are. So I guess I'm just suggesting to you that you could be a little bit more creative than perhaps you have traditionally, where everybody came in at a specific time and everybody leaves at a specific time. Instead, maybe look at it from a different perspective and say, well, let's give some flexibility, because really what that drives is employee engagement. And money and benefits, they really can only produce a certain level of happiness and satisfaction within your staff. It only can motivate to a certain level, and that's in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's the safety level. But if we want to get up a little bit higher and we want to start meeting self-actualization or self-esteem, really get employees motivated to the top of that pyramid, we've got to do some other things. And one of those pieces, key to that, is making them feel like that they're in charge of their own destiny, that they've got some control over that. So I submit to you the idea of flex time. I think it's something that you could adapt in your businesses. It's worked extremely well for us, and we've got lots of positive feedback from our staff. Hope that this is an insight and an encouragement to you. Thanks. It's Paul Blough signing off.